Hello, my love. In the midst of trying very hard to give time and space for intuition to do its thing and for soul to speak and spirit to guide me and all of those beautiful things, which they do and they have, and even the spirit babies are constant chatter. And I've had levels of clarity amidst moving through waves and trying to ascertain, what that step forward for myself is and all those beautiful, complex things. I realized that at some point it stopped being an invitation and it sort of became a state of avoidance for me. And now Spirit is yelling at me to come back and serve my collective and not to be in a state of avoidance. So I'm very much aware that there's some level of fear. I don't know what. I do know. But we're going to do something a little bit different today. Oh, funny, because tomorrow is the start of Taurus season. We know how I love Taurus energy. I attract it like nothing else. Oh, what did my masculine say? He put it so well. Something about how, I don't need more of it. He's like, no, you just crave it or something like that. I do. Taurus has ground the fuck out of me in such a beautiful way. And I have Taurus energy in my chart. It's in my Mars. It's a hell of a placement. So we are going to do a counterpart check-in to see what is shifting, changing, and being mirrored in the collective for counterparts. So I'm going to try my best to read these as neutral mirroring energy. If masculine and feminine comes out one way or the other, take it how it resonates, take it how it applies. If you are currently embodying masculine or feminine, if you see yourself as masculine and feminine, take it how it applies. Alright, let's see. What is going on in the collective? What can we expect coming in through Taurus season? What is the mirroring energy for counterparts? And, whoa. I'll take that one. A little more. That's a lot. Okay. Alright, this is going to be a reading, alright? I can already see it getting heavy. Alright, so right off the bat, there are 2, maybe 3 different core themes coming out here. So we're just gonna take them as they go and we'll do tarot to clarify. You took me by surprise with this. You bring a fresh new perspective into my life. I don't make decisions easily. I hold back because you deserve all, not some. My mind was poisoned by others and I allowed it. Abandonment triggers. You trigger rejection wounds. Child abuse and neglect. Someone I trusted manipulated me for their gain. That's feeling all very familial and relational. And then separate energy. You're an angel that makes me want to do ungodly things. I want to sneak around like kids. So looks like Taurus season is going to be heavily focused on continuing to process the inner childhood wounds and triggers that have made you show up the way that you have in your connection. This is something that you triggered and brought perspective onto in their life because the people around them and the lifestyle that they had and just how they were operating was all based on this wounding. It was how they were showing up and they didn't really see the why that wasn't super beneficial because it's all that they've known. I mean, they had some idea of unhealthy habits and things like that, but just the depth of how much that affected their life and more importantly, the connection and how they were showing up or not showing up, or, you know, take that. So it's interesting because with all this childhood healing energy, it's also bringing out some like inner teen stuff with this. I want to sneak around like kids. So it's this very interesting cross section of like nostalgia and awareness of like the pain of childhood and teenage and like all of those things that happened that kind of made you who you were, but also like the nostalgia and the fun and the good and wanting to relive those types of moments with you just because of the type of energy and perspective that you bring them. Because even though this is heavy stuff to move through, heavy stuff to address in any connection, you give them a sense of safety and I can't find the word. Give me the word. You're not giving it to me. I feel like I need to sit with it, but I can't. So anyway, you give them this sense of safety and just allowing them to be wholly themselves, unapologetically free, without like shame or judgment or any of that weight that has come about by the people who have been in their lives, the people who that they trusted and were manipulated by, and their minds was poisoned by these people, and that energy has contributed. Somebody doesn't want me to channel what I'm about to channel. These people who are still in their life, it's likely family and just like family matters, right? So it's just those conditionings and how family life has operated for them, like what is norm in their family, that manipulation and their mind being poisoned by others, at some point they really didn't trust who you were and how you were showing up for them because it was so different from what they've known. So it's like you see good as bad and bad as good, right? So they probably self-sabotaged and did everything they could to push you away to protect themselves because they're so used to being manipulated by others. And it comes back to this like being used and abused, this neglect and rejection and abandonment triggers and moves, like, which really, when you get down to the core of them, they're basically two sides of one coin. They're one and the same. And there's just so many ways you can attack that. That's another thing I've been digging down deep in lately. And just to have a broader general understanding of. But even amidst all of this, you continue to bring them a perspective. You continue to shine a light on this. And eventually they saw that there was a sense of safety here that never existed, or at least not in the way that they feel they needed as a child to be who they are. And that really creates a sense of passion within and a really deep sense of connection. And it feels like a calling out to work on or understand this together. Like bringing those awarenesses into the relationship, all that beautiful Taurus energy, and like heal, repair, understand, and have this very carefree, like being in the present moment, just exploring and being in that space of exploration. And even that was something I was reflecting on about my long-term relationship when I was a teenager. Was we had a very loving, very free connection, and I'm so thankful for that connection. It taught me a lot. And that's the type type of energy that's coming through, is this wanting to be in this space, you know, before the world hurt you or before you knew you were hurt, kind of a thing. And wanting to get back to that person because you bring that out in this person, and they know that they can heal from all of those things by being in this space of connection with you, because you hold that space. You understand those things, whether you understand what they are or not, or whether you're aware of what those situations are or not. You see and hold space for how this person like operates, and you've given them a sense of grace in how they've shown up, so they're able to have this level of awareness and, you know, take the necessary steps in their own life and in their own healing to do what's necessary. And you've inspired them to want to be a better version of themselves and set that example not only for themselves and not just for you, but for their family, is what I'm hearing. Which it seems like there's been a kind of, I don't know what word to use. I don't want to say resistance, but some like pushback or questioning, or like, what are you doing? Like, this isn't how we do things, kind of a thing. But the changes that they've been making in their life are so undeniable that, like, even though they don't get it, they get it. And, you know, when you do that work for yourself and you hold fast in those boundaries, other people do have to learn to navigate around you better. And the beautifully complex part, your values, boundaries, and standards teach other people how to love you appropriately, teach them how to love you the way you need to be loved. And you very much have set that example for this person. And because of that, which is something that really took them by surprise, because they were so used to operating the same way and everybody giving in and going along with it, and that constant like manipulating things to go their way. Probably a lot of like that inner childhood like pushback, and just those patterns that play out when that inner child is wounded or doesn't, it's like, you're not doing what I want you to do, why aren't you doing it? That really took them by surprise, but it gave them a perspective and, you know, kind of shook them awake, and, oh, this isn't working. I'm the one who needs to change this. This actually isn't healthy. So you have taught them by your example, not just how to love you better, how to love themselves, how to love other people better, and how to really hold fast in their own values and boundaries and what they are allowing in their life, whether that be in their connections, behaviors and patterns and thoughts, just like all of those things, right? Because we can be our own worst enemy. Those narratives and those trauma loopings can really get you down if you let them. And that is a really hard battle. Like, I just saw a vision of an angel holding a sword. Like, if you need to, call for help. Whether that be guardian angels, various spirit power animals, readers, therapists, whoever you have, whatever tools you have in your toolbox, lean into them in those moments. That's what they're there for. That's what connection is for, right? You're not meant to do it all alone. And I think that's another thing that's been evident in this is, that was a lot of energy. That's another thing I need to come talk about. I had a about that today. Where was I? They did that on purpose. I'm going to stop this and go back and see what I said. I got it back. You have shown them that there are pieces or part of the healing journey that are not meant to be done alone. You have shown them that they're not alone, that they're not abandoned, that they're not rejected, that somebody can and will stay and fight for them, for the connection. And again, that's another thing that they've never had. You surprised them and you gave them a new perspective that somebody can and would be willing to stay and not manipulate them, that to show up so authentically because they see you as an angel. And all of that triggers those lower chakras, that the abandonment, rejection, childhood abuse, healing that opens up those lower chakras, the root and the sacral. And you are activating the fuck out of that because you are helping them heal that by setting those boundaries and mirroring that energy to them and setting those standards. And that is just so freaking beautiful. All right, let's get into the tarot. What do we need to know about this situation as a whole? What do we need to know about these counterparts? Time here. 8 of Cups. It's this walking away from the patterns, behaviors, thoughts, conditioning that no longer serve you. It's embracing your healing and knowing that there's better for you, that you can choose the people who choose you. Yes. And just like stride for stride, just being in that journey, really taking those steps. And I just saw like 2 pairs of footprints beside each other. And it's like, even though you're in your own experiencing, not only have you been doing this journey together simultaneously, you can do that journey together simultaneously in your own spaces, in your own way, offering that support to one another, and also whatever, you know, those cross spaces are of how that affects how you show up to your connection. Tell me more about the manipulation. Oh, that's dark. 10 of Pentacles, but it came out sideways, and the immediate energy was like this keeping up with the Jones, like fake facade happiness, which is just like, believe me, I get it. I had 2 narcissistic parents and nobody believed me. You know how many times I ran away? But that's the thing, is like, everybody saw this picture perfect thing, but under the surface, they didn't see all of these other things that were going on. And after working with people for decades at this point, it just feels weird to say, I'm not old enough for that. But after hearing so many people's stories, that's unfortunately what it is a lot of the time. And that's why we're being called to step forward and heal this. I'll get to that in a second. But they haven't been honest with themselves or anybody about the truth of that, about what things were like growing up, because it's just constantly portrayed as this beautiful picture of this beautiful family who gets along and does these things the way that you're supposed to, the status quo. But you know, what's going on behind closed doors, right? Where are those rifts? Where, you know, where's the discord? You probably wouldn't believe my story if I told you. But that's the thing, is all of those things really have an impact. Having to wear that mask and continue like everything's just fine and sweep things under the rug, and like they're not willing to do that anymore. And I think that that's what's kind of irking these family members, is like, what are you doing? That's not how we do things, right? Why are you bringing this up? Kind of a thing. But everything that's done in the dark is coming to light. And at this point in time, these things are coming to light for a reason. It's about clearing family karma. It's about clearing that karmic debt. I have a bunch of great books if you want to read them. I'm pretty sure one's actually called Clearing Family Karma. But that's the thing, is there are, and this is what I actually really wanted to come talk about. There are so many spirit babies right now. If I could tell you just the chatter, and they're so beautiful. And mine are being really annoying right now, which doesn't surprise me at all. it's just like, there are so many babies waiting to be born right now, and they see the work that their parents are doing and they're cheering them on, but it's like more, or just like a level of conscious awareness that this is why, because these babies that are coming through are so aware, they're so bright, they're so full of joy and life and love, and many of them have never even incarnated to this earth, right? These children are for a new earth, which is literally materializing as we speak. It may not look and seem like it when you see the world, but that's because new world starts within. It's this beautiful wave of our generation coming to these levels of awareness and really doing that work. And it's because of that work that these family cycles are ending, right? It's like, if your life is hard, it's because you are the one who's meant to stand here and end this karma. And every piece of work that you do on yourself, whether your family intentionally does it or not, because you hold the same DNA frequencies, that work automatically translate into your family on a larger scale. Your ancestors and your future lineage, all at the same time. It's the beautiful quantum mechanics of life. And that's what it is you are being called forward to work on this, because it's time. It's time for these babies to come. And even the book that I'm listening to right now, I mean, every circumstance and every spirit baby has their own unique karmic blueprint, and that's why, I don't involve my son I don't get myself too involved in my son's life, because I know he has his own journey. I know he has his own karmic timeline, and it's so hard. But that's the thing, is like, things are falling in and out of place for these spirit babies to come in, but your conscious awareness of the level of work that you're doing, especially if in some part of you know that you want to be a parent, or that you're meant to be a parent, or that's part of your destiny, even if you're like, maybe yes, maybe no, that maybe is still there. And usually when it comes up to those situations, it's an active choice on your part. And I've done a lot of work with mostly mothers, but family, when it comes to being aware of consciously calling in those children. But that's what it is these children desiring to be born into healthier, aware families, and to have parents who, not only are aware of their own stuff, but who are setting those examples and moving forward in love. And that's a really big thing that I'm working through right now, is like letting go of my constructs and remembering that my child will be born out of love, and that is all that matters. And I'm like, it's making me itchy. I'm like, but I don't like that. But I have to remember, and actually this is the only thing that works for me, is like, that's my child's karma. I'm helping that play out. I'm like, I don't know why I chose that for myself and why I'm fighting it so hard, but I have so much respect for their karmic choices that I'm like, okay, this is for you. That's my altruistic nature, right? Like, everything I've ever done since I was so little was with my babies in mind. And now that I'm fighting it, because I know that it's coming, like, I know that I'm going to have twins at some point. And because when I was 5, I was playing with 2 dolls and I wouldn't give them up. And I kept telling my teacher and my mom that they were my twins. My spirit babies have been with me and in my aura for a very long time. And it's a big part of my calling to validate that in other people. And I've had so many more people coming forward, like, thanking me and, really wanting to know more about that. So just know that it is a big theme right now with New Earth and these beautiful new upgrades that we have, and our own ascension, and just it's a beautiful thing if you are called to do that. And even if you don't want children for yourself, doing that healing work for yourself and your family is so big. And holding those spaces, even for like nieces and nephews, and even like chosen family, and like just, the little people who are growing up, like setting those examples and holding space for them and sharing the wisdom and the lessons and all of those things, just being more vocal and not hiding those things under the rug anymore, really owning who you are and your story and those growth lessons. That alone is a really big shift and change, and I am just so freaking proud, especially of the masculines that I am seeing doing that, because those are major cycles that we are breaking, and like I am overwhelmed with gratitude, joy, and appreciation for the masculine collective who are doing that. I cannot put into words what that means. All right, let's see what is going on with this perspective and surprise. Tell me more about this perspective that has been brought to the situation. Tell me more. Oh, I was so right. I need to trust myself more. I am working on that. We can talk about that another time, unless you want to come talk to me personally about it. I realized that a lot of my inner childhood wounds were like parental and about the cult and having literally my entire existence gaslit. That was fun to work through. It comes back to this abandonment and rejection wound and how you have always been there for them. You have shown them something so different that they did not exist, that it's helped pull them out of this energy, show them where their power is and what could truly be for them. Like, instead of having this fake facade of a joyful family life where there's all this crap going on behind closed doors. That's a lot of energy. We can't get into that right now. I'm gonna go work through that. No, it's not mine to work through. I will pocket that awareness. And I know that's a major theme for a handful of people. But it comes back to this. It's like, you can have a healthy family. It starts with you. And you gave them that power and awareness, and it's allowing them to unlock that opportunity, that door, that destiny. It was something that they never thought possible for them. They had chosen a whole different avenue of life because they didn't want to perpetuate this. They didn't want to be party to it. So they just went and had like a party lifestyle, but like, it's just like that carefree living where nothing matters except for themselves, like that very egoic approach, because I didn't think that was like a real thing. They always are like, okay, well, what's under the surface, what's really going on? Like, that's not real, because I know what happens, right? It's not picture perfect. Looks like it, but it's not. And it's a lot of like that manipulation and that distrust, and having to really widen that perspective and heal. And I heard possibilities, like believe that it was possible, like like that fairy tale, that they like fairy tale love, fairy tale family, like they always deep down wanted it, but didn't believe that it was A, real, or told that it wasn't real, or B, possible for them. All right, tell me more about this childlike energy and nostalgia. Oh, surprise, Six of Cups didn't come out with that. The World and the Page of Cups. It is like this daydreamy, you make them see sparkles, sunshine, rainbows, and fireworks energy. Like, when they think of like any type of like future like that, it's just you that they see. They see this abundant, radiant energy just surrounding you. Like, you are their whole world. And it's like they see you as like this powerfully being that just can manifest things out of thin air. Like like you're constantly alchemizing all of these things and just like making them happen. And they're impressed by this, and it makes them go back into that like that daydreamy childhood fantasy energy where anything is possible. So they're tapping into that. They're tapping into that infinite possibilities, which is a major healing point in the chakra, heart chakra, which is actually a post that I was about to write up. But, and like the lower, like the sacral, for sure. Like you are turning that energy back on in them, not just sexually, but creatively. How to create something outside of themselves in this world, whether it be, pieces of their heart and their soul, career, ambitions, passions, like whatever it is, they're now seeing those infinite possibilities. But at the same time, there's still a little bit of like lingering doubt on whether or not this is possible or real for them. And they're still really holding on to that like B option of what life has been, kind of in a more balanced, healthier state, but still kind of like a solo type energy where you're just kind of like going it alone, but all the while they're up in fucking fantasy land. They're head over heels for you. Like they're so far gone. They're probably up floating around on cloud 9. They're probably not present. Their family's probably like, what the fuck is going on with you? Like I literally just saw someone like turn over and this person's like off in like a fucking La La Land. I was disappointed by La La Land. Anyway, that's what we want to see coming through. King of Pentacles, which is Taurus. They're just sitting there daydreaming, like they've got this whole thing worked out in their pretty little head. Right? But that's the thing is like, oh my god, there's no way. Taurus energy all day. This investment that's been happening slow and steady over time is going to be fully grounded sometime in Taurus season. Is taking all of the energy that we've moved through and oh my god, I can't read the bottom of the deck, we'll be here forever, but it's grounding all this energy to make it a reality because they've figured out how to tap into like the same type of energy. Like you've inspired them, you've shown them the way of how to do that, and they're really starting to manifest that reality for themselves. And amidst that, still trying to figure out like how do they make that move, whatever move it is that they need to make all the things happen, because they're still getting kind of sucked into that disempowerment energy a little bit. All right, let's get some guidance or advice. Guidance or advice for the collective. Main character energy. Are you ready to be in the spotlight? Are you? It's your show, babe. It's your story. It's your plot line. Are you ready to, claim victory, to light your passions on fire and create the thing that everybody probably told you wasn't possible? Are you ready to, shove it to the man? Yeah. Set the world on fire, baby. Let's go. That's I don't know why that gets me every time. Yes! Burn it down. All right. Just confidently step into what you want, and the rest will fall into place, because it comes back to that innocent energy where if you can just allow yourself to be in the moment and not be so serious about it, and understand that you want the same things, you're headed to the same direction, you're in this together, you always have been, that time ain't nothing but a thing. Chicken wing, it's a construct, right? And you can get rid of those conditions and those constructs and just allow yourself to be and be free and show up and love and experience whatever comes your way, whether it's, for good or for bad. Oh, that was something that came through when I was rewatching about the we go down together. It's like through thick or thin, whether the highs, the lows, sickness, health, like vows, like no matter what comes your way, like you can be in it together and take things in stride. And more so, it's like being willing to be in that together, because again, that was something that they didn't see was possible because they've been abandoned, rejected, manipulated their entire life, that they didn't believe that somebody could actually, be that ride or die energy, or really have their back, like really truly have their back, and not just be manipulating the situation for their own gain. Like, okay, when's the shoe gonna fall? When are you gonna leave? When are you gonna twist this and, make me the scapegoat? Or something better comes along, or whatever it may be. Like, you've really shown this person how to be steady, grounded, steadfast, committed to this, to something, to believe that that's possible. All right, what don't we see about the situation? Can't make this shit up. We go together. You're working on it together. You don't even see that you're weaving the same dream in reality. That's what's funny. And again, look who's helping out. Spirit babies. Even if you don't want children and you have that active choice, those spirit babies are still helping you along on your journey. You can ask them for help. They are more than willing to help. Believe you me. They like to get their little hands and think they're children. Right? They like to be in the messy, chaotic process too. And whatever it is that you want to do, guess what? Despite contrary belief in society, you can do it with children. You can. So whatever that dream is, you're weaving it together, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. All of that energy is going in the same place. You're working on the same thing. And at some point, you're going to realize that, whoop, there it is. All right. Is there anything else we need to know? Death and rebirth, the end of one karmic cycle is the beginning of a new one. You are bringing in a brand new, healthy, healed, abundant new beginning, not just for yourself, but for your family, past, present, future, and humanity as a whole. Because we are more interconnected. Our stories are more interconnected than you would believe. All right. I'm aware of why I was avoiding that. All right. I love you. I'll be around. I'm going to go prioritize family. I get to do a fun family event tonight. I'm excited for that. I need that. All right. If you have comments, questions, concerns, want to chat, anything else, you know where to find me. There is a fun, beautiful little meditative prompt in the collective chat. If you haven't checked that out, highly recommend. I'm trying to bring some different little things to the collective there and serve them with all of my many, 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 many gifts. All right, love you.